As one of the best students at school, I thought that my career will go exactly the same way as was proceeding during school days. I got great marks, and I was promoted each year. I was supposed to be nice, polite, and helpful to everyone, especially as a girl. So when I started my first job, I expected the same. I did my best, and I strove very much to be liked by everyone. And even if I was angry inside that someone was abusing my kindness, I did what I was told. I never wanted to be excluded or disliked. To my surprise, the attitude that was so efficient at school didn't bring me to the next level of my career. This attitude instead held me close to the ground and even glued me to the floor, that I had no idea how to break out of the role of an assistant that I was at that time. Every day I felt less and less valuable, and my dreams to succeed became less and less realistic. Being nice and polite was a very efficient strategy. Thanks to that, I got more and more new responsibilities, totally unrelated to my job. Drive my car to the car wash, buy a present for my wife, peel off the fruit and cut them for me, asked my boss. I remember how humiliated I felt when I had to stand in the kitchen, cut this fruit when everybody was looking at me, and then I had to enter the board meeting full of men and serve a plate of fruit to my boss. Was I liked? I guess I was. And I still believe that my dedication will be rewarded. So I translated documents, I forecast budget for my department, I organized team buildings and did a lot of stuff. And every day, at 10:15, I served a plate of fruit to my boss. I couldn't imagine I can do anything about that situation. Me, the one who always wanted to empower women, I felt so miserable at the same time. Until one day, when I felt that I cannot look at myself in the mirror. The fear of telling that I will not continue to go on like this was less painful than the everyday lack of respect I had for myself. So I made a decision, no more fruit, and I remember this day as if it was today. My heart was pounding, and I decided I will tell my boss. So I entered my boss' room, my heart was, I was shaking inside, and said, "Hi, I need to talk to you." "Oh, yes, come in," said my boss merrily, and he was looking for something in his bag. "Yes, we can talk, but first I want you to prepare me this." And happily, he handed me a big orange grapefruit. Oh no, I thought to myself, I was about to give up. But I took the deep breath, took the fruit, and said, "This is something I want to talk to you about." "About the grapefruit?" "No," I said. "I want to tell you that I will not continue to peel off fruit for you any longer." "But why? Who will do that for me?" asked my boss as if he was in danger of starvation. I said, "I don't know. You can do it yourself." For the first time in my career, I decided to risk being liked, and you know what? I was not fired. My boss had his knickers in a twist for a few days, but never again he made such request. What helped me a lot was that I had visualized before what would be the worst possible scenario if I say what I intended. And the worst possible scenario was that I would lose my job, the job that I didn't like at all at that time. And you know what? Not only didn't I lose the job, but I was promoted soon after. By the way, me and my ex-boss, we still enjoy friendly relationship. Do you know how many women graduate from universities in Poland? It's 65%, and only 15% represent top executive positions. But look at executive assistant position. There are more than 90% female there. It shouldn't be like this. A study at Columbia University found that men overestimate their abilities by 30%, and they really mean it, and they really believe it. While women, they underestimate their abilities by 30%, and they also believe it. But when men and women were giving a scientific reasoning quiz, it turned out they both performed exactly the same. Too often we underestimate our abilities and our value. We believe we need to earn someone's respect. And we can do our best. We can meet the strangest requests of our bosses, and we will never get respect, as long as we do not respect ourselves. So my lesson learned number 1 is try to risk being liked by everyone. It's better to be respected. No one will voluntarily get rid of a free servant. Being respected very often goes in pair with being liked, but it's important it happens in the right order. Sometime later on, again, I got to the point when I had no idea how my career should look like. The more I tried to find a reasonable answer, the more difficult it was. I was upset and frustrated and lacked motivation. Why wasn't there any HR expert who could come and discover my talent, I wondered, when no one could see the potential in me? I was ready. I was convinced that at the age of 27, I've lost all my career opportunities and that no one will ever give me a chance. In fact, I didn't even know what chance I wanted. My mother looked at me at that time and she said, "You lost your sparkle in the eye. Do something for yourself, something that you like, something that will bring you joy, and stop thinking about this work." And I did. I took up studies to become a trainer, and then I started to attend different conferences and meetings, and soon I started to organize them myself. I also started to run trainings for women. By activities that seemingly had no connection to my work, I started to build my position at work. And it was finally me, not an HR expert, who had the vision for myself at work. I remember when I was discussing my idea of the role with my boss, I presented that, and he said, "That's nice, yeah. I may consider you may become a diversity coordinator." "I don't want to be a coordinator," I said. "I want to be diversity and inclusion manager." A few months later, my position was created, the position that hadn't existed in my organization before. For more than 40 years, Gallup Institute has run research on talents, and the results are clear. We shouldn't invest our time in fixing our areas of development. Instead, we should invest our time in developing our natural talents and natural skills, because only in this way we are able to excel. So my lesson learned number 2 is, if you don't find circumstances that fit you, create them for yourself. First, find your superpowers, then bring them to your organization. And believe me, your organization will be happy to pay you for that. During one of my workshops, Kate shared her story. She was supposed to attend an important client meeting with her 2 colleagues and director. Just before the meeting, the director called her and said he won't be able to attend the meeting due to some emergency situation. And he asked Kate to replace him. Kate was very stressed, but she did it. After the presentation, when she was alone with her colleagues in the room, she said exhausted, "That was the worst presentation ever. I completely failed. I am hopeless." To her surprise, her male colleagues were of different opinion. "Yeah, you were a bit stressed, but look, you presented the offer. You answered all the questions. People put down notes, and no one left the room. That means that was a good presentation," they said. On the same day, when the director asked how it was, they said exactly the same, that this was a good presentation. But what would Kate do if she was the one who met her director first? She would complain about herself, she admitted to me. And now imagine, in case the director decides on promotion, and assuming that Kate speaks negatively about herself very often, do you think he would promote her? Oh, she needs to learn a lot, he would think. She's not ready. And he would promote someone else. If you speak and if you repeat all what your inner critic is telling you, you sabotage yourself. It has nothing to do with facts. It's only emotional interpretation of the situation. It's not supportive at all, and it takes away your power and it takes away your self-confidence. Look at men. They never say negative comments about their work. They usually have good presentation, valuable meetings during which they perform excellent. And after all, they have promising possibilities. I know that we girls were often taught to be modest and not to boast. And we even sometimes say negative comments about ourselves because we want others to deny it. But do we really need others to value ourselves? My lesson learned, number 3, is never criticize yourself in front of people whom your career depends on. Each time, if you want to say something negative about yourself, take a deep breath, count to 3, and find at least 3 positive aspects of your performance. And now imagine, have you ever thought what you could achieve if you were fully self-confident? How would your salary, your activities, your everything look like if self-confidence was not a problem at all? What could you achieve if you were not afraid to try? I hope you like this vision. Today, I've shared with you 3 lessons that taught me a lot as a woman who is standing right in front of you today. You can learn from my experience. Instead of being liked, I've chosen being respected. The situation with the grapefruit was a milestone in my building self-respect. And what is your grapefruit? What stops you in your career? Find it and defeat it. Instead of waiting for possible opportunities that may never come, create your own circumstances. What about you? What are your superpowers? What are your super talents? If you cannot find them at work, go outside. Join an NGO organization, start writing a blog, attend a networking meeting, or find yourself a mentor and see what it brings. Instead of criticizing yourself, start praising yourself in public. Be open for constructive feedback, but never sabotage yourself in front of people whom your career depends on. Count to 3 each time if you want to say something negative, and find 3 positive facts about your performance. This attitude has worked for me. Will it work for you? Just give it a try.
Malwina Faliszewska.